Hello there. My name is Wykenthropen Vosvagenen Gormeldenhyde, the 4th Duke of Texas, but for the sake of simplicity, you can call me Y-Guy. Now, I'm a huge nerd. I really enjoy stuff like D&D and Warhammer 40k, and it just so happens that my brother and father and uncle and grandma and grandpa are also dorks, even some other people I know. So, when you have an assembly of nerds running around, you naturally start a D&D campaign. Now, I'm in a campaign with my uncle, brother, friend, who we'll call Kevin, and my father as the dungeon master. And for a campaign, you need character art. One day, my brother decided that the random images we found on the web just weren't good enough. I was standing in a kitchen that day, minding my own business and grabbing some delicious homemade cookies. However, I was disturbed by a sudden jolt, 2 large hands grabbing my neck. My extremely tall brother lifted me from my feet. As he held me there, he began to politely ask if I could make some drawings for all of our characters. Yippee! So, in a sense, he technically gave me my first ever art commission. So, of course, I'll be expecting payment from him shortly. Except that I don't actually know what I want from him. I was either thinking a pack of Oreos or a M4 Sherman tank. Anyways, before we move on to how you actually clicked on this video, I'd like to preface by saying that I'm not an amazing artist. I think I'd consider myself beginner to intermediate, and I'm definitely not used to digital art yet. So, if there are any artists watching, I would greatly appreciate if you could leave any comments below on how to improve my digital art, or art in general. Now, let's finally get to my brother's character. My brother's character is a drow named Aerolith Veverell. He's an arcane trickster rogue wielding 2 magical daggers, one of them being a dagger of venom. He also wields a powerful oath bow. As for his early life, Aerolith grew up in the deadly society of the Drow, ruled by dubious leaders and an evil goddess, Lolth. Most Dark Elves' lives are filled with deceit, murder, and an ultimate greed for power, but Aerolith hadn't been around long enough to be corrupted by them fully. When he was still a boy, his family lost favor in the eyes of Lolth. Since Lolth no longer cared for his family, they were hunted down by the other Dark Elves, as is their custom. Aerolith made it out alive, but he was separated from his family. A need to know the truth has driven Aerolith through his younger years, and he still fights today for the chance to find his family. Alright, now that we know who Aerolith is, let's see the description that my brother gave me of his appearance. Aerolith Veverell is a male drow standing around 5'5". He has long, gray hair, usually kept in a messy ponytail. He also has what is known as heterochromia, having 1 blue and 1 purple eye and a scar on his left cheek. He has a lean figure, lacking much muscle. For a drow, Aerolith looks rather young, possibly near his early 20s in human years in appearance. He has 2 sheaths, one holding his dagger of venom, one holding the other non-venomous dagger. His oath bow is slung over his shoulder with a quiver near it. He also always seems to have a spider near or around him. Alright, this is a good description. I think I can work with this. And work with it I did. For Aerolith's first magical dagger, I just sort of went with a twisting design for the guard, and I tried to make it as interesting as I could. But to be totally honest, I was kind of just winging it. I had really no idea what the hell to do for it. But anyways, for his venomous dagger, I sort of went with a design of whatever came to mind relating to venom first, which just so happened to be snakes. I made a snake pommel and I put some fang-like protrusions on the guard. For Aerolith's oath bow, I went with a pretty simple design, as Aerolith is a simple man, but I made sure to draw some runes on of whatever symbols I thought looked cool. Now, I did forget to press record when I was making the upper body armor, but at least I got the legs. So, for Aerolith's armor, I went with some leather on his torso and some purple skin-tight clothes underneath. I tried to go for more of a dark elf design for the patterns on his leather, so I tried to make the patterns look like spider legs or webs. I also added some spiders to his boots, per the description. I do realize, after drawing this, that I might have put too much armor on the rogue, but it's probably fine. I'm thinking this looks pretty good, but it's missing color. There we go. Alright, now we can work on the background. So I drew some squares to draw some rocks, and then I got stuck because I didn't know what else to put in. That was until I looked at some reference images for the Underdark, and I decided to put in some glowing mushrooms. Now, with the background done, we just need to add some color. And now, it's done, and it's ready for the big reveal. You know, if you ignore the lack of a quiver and the fact that he's wearing too much armor, I think it looks pretty darn good. Now, all that's left is to send it over to my brother and see what he thinks of it. Well, I'd call that a job well done. If you made it this far, then thank you very much for watching, and God bless.